Alright, everybody, welcome to the stream. My name is Defers, and I'll be your host today. You may have heard of such things as that, but, yay. Let's go. We got the ad rolling. We should let everybody know that I'm stregging. I'm stregging, everybody. Okay. All right. Next step is right. Okay. Okay. No. Alright, looks like I can't find that thing that I was looking for, but it's okay, everybody. Because we're going to wrap up Marathon Infinity. And I'll explain what I was looking for that I couldn't find. In particular, I was hopeful that I would find a summary of the Joe Staten cut of Destiny. But you'll see why that's important in a little bit. We're not there yet. Marathon Infinity, let's go. For the last time. It's been a good couple weeks with Marathon. And a good month with Pathways. It's time for Aimak Now, what does Aimak mean? It is Scottish for I make sure. I make sure. If you'll recall, the final situation in the terminal, the final scenario from you think you're big time, you're gonna die big time, told us that we have to go to the Jjaro station and we have to activate the Jjaro weapon. Otherwise, the working Kakantar is going to blow everything up. So what are we doing? We're making sure. And what is Aimak historically? It is the motto of Clan Kirkpatrick. Why, yes, that would be the same clan that Greg Kirkpatrick, the writer of this series, is from. That's how you know we're in the serious zone. And I'll explain the context of Aimak a little further as we continue on. Okay, I wouldn't have expected that. Maybe we have to go down here. No, on the contrary, this gets you killed. Alright, that was a little weird. Didn't expect us to start like this. got some sludge on the space station. That's our friends, the Svidkur. Well, that's good. We'll want that. Hey, 49-210. The Trageme plummets yawning towards the sun's core, heart, and the fiery prison of the working Kakantur where overthought, unravel. The power grid activator is located here on the outer ring, which you must access in order to bring the station online. Okay? The grid needs the Jjaro Farcast pattern chips to function. The four have recovered one here in the main hangar for the station. In the main hangar for the station, they're all readying it for transport to the Cathedral. Alright. Tatiana, huh? Okay, there's a health tank. Okay, we want to be on the outer ring, so we want to head probably that way. As I understand it, there's 5 terminals. This is a window. Doesn't have a window texture, but it is a window. By the way, this is the largest official map in Marathon. If you don't recognize this place, I don't blame you. This is around where the Arthur Frayne terminal was. Yeah. No, I don't know what's there, by the way. The temptation is to treat this like the Trageme is actually happening, but you do need to remember this isn't a time mission. Which is good because it's massive, absolutely massive. Man, what the hell is up with this? Still not done yet? Man, what the hell? Alright, well. Are we really on the outer ring, by the way? It looks like we are. got incoming, huh? That's a window. You can't get through there, thankfully. By the way, just to check, because I'm paranoid, I set that thing to moving like 5 minutes ago. Has it finished moving? It hasn't. Now, to be honest, I think it scrolls forever. Nope. We're on the outer ring. Oh, hey! I think this is the Arthur Frayne terminal or something. Rest design. Old Imes. My old Pthia. Lost. Vacant. Doubt. Chaos. Overpowering. Underwhelming. Two forces in balance. Ancient, endless balance, then nothing. Alright. So, we haven't solved the problem, but at least we've got 2 more to go, 3 more to go. One of those is going to be special. Oh, hi, Spit Car. Alright. Well, they never claimed to be masters of friendly fire, so, you know. Alright, we got a Vanguard. No, buddy, please. There's a lot going on here, man. No help this time. Flamethrower ain't gonna do much. This, on the other hand... Here's our save spot, and here's a heal. God, this map's a mess. I don't mean that in a derogatory way, I mean just Jesus Christ, look at the size of this bastard. Well, we've been here before. Buddy, you didn't have to eviscerate me. Ouchies, oofies, we gotta go. Alright, Svitkar. I'm trusting in you not to be a stupid head. Probably a huge mistake. Oh no. Oh no! We gotta get out of here. We've been out here before. Thank God this isn't a timed mission. Are you kidding me? I still feel like I have to hurry just because of the lore implications, but... Come on, for God's sake. Okay, well. So we can find a way back into the center console relatively easily. Kind of. Friend. Oh, I have not picked up new rockets since. Alright, he's dead. Housed him. This is like the space alien fascist equivalent of Mom Says It's My Turn to Play on the Xbox, you know what I'm saying? That's the vibe those big old boys would give. We've already killed all the bastards here, that's good. Okay, well I'm back here, which would be great. Oh. Can I go down? Good. So the easiest way to get back here is just through the elevator. Okay. Oh, god damn it. Ah. Here's the hex code. So that's the sequel to the hex code terminal in the first map. Okay, well we can't do anything with that guy, so we'll just have to go back this way at some point. So surprisingly, I've managed to really give this place what for. I thought I'd have a harder time with Amoxicar. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a pretty tough map, but the enemies... they're a threat, I guess. the idea is just that you're so panicked and you're so pressed that you make mistakes. But, I mean, if you happen to know there's no time limit... And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm glad for that. I'd be having a much rougher time of it. Much rougher go of it if it weren't. Ah, this is like a docking platform, I see. Oh, and we've been here before. Hey, remember this place? This really was the Arthur Frayne terminal zone. These guys can't hurt me and I can't hurt them, to the point where I'm curious, who ordered them there? Fear, was that your idea? I need them there for the intimidation factor. Okay. So we've found 3 terminals so far. The opening one, the Pthia one, the hex code one. And there's 2 left. One of them is a credits terminal, as usual. And then there's the remaining one after that. What did I just grab? I have no idea what I just grabbed. Alright. I'll let it be known. Whatever it is I just grabbed, I grabbed it. It must be what made my health purple again. Some more purple drink, I suppose. Yeah, this is the Pthia one. My old Pthia, lost, vacant, doubt, chaos, overpowering, underwhelming. Forces imbalance, ancient and less balanced than nothing. So Pthia was some sort of balancing force to Jjaro, which the working Kakantur destroyed. Hey. Hold on a second. Okay, where am I? Huh. This is apparently a terminal. That's no good. This thing ain't on. Let's hope we can turn it on. Oh gosh. I may have beefed it. That's okay, I know where I am, roughly. This place is big and it's sprawling and it's all kind of colored the same. But for all that, I'm not helpless. Helpless or not, this place is a confusing tangle, though. Absolute rat's nest. I gotta go to the restroom. Unusual, I know, but I'll BRB. Appreciate your patience. Okay, I'm back, everybody. Thank you for your patience. Let's see what we can get going. Should probably get that ammo at some point. We definitely don't have a lot of shot shells. Oh yeah, and check this out. May not look like it, but it's a floor. Again, they really should have just gotten some kind of glass texture. Speaking of textures, we gotta go back to that original terminal, I think. one spot I see on the map that I don't appear to have touched. So I guess I'm gonna go touch it right now. Okay, well, in my defense, there ain't much to touch, alright? How the hell do I get back into this place? I got out of it somehow. But you can't go back in? Is that it? Seems a little weird. I understand that it's possible that is the case, but it just seems patently weird. Not in line with what I see in the rest of the map either. Alright. There's also that whole red thing. I don't know what that whole red thing is. Okay. There's that crossbeam. Are you? Yes, you are. My Pthia, etc., etc. Hey, free rocket. Okay. Okay, here's this drop down. We've been down that road before. Been down that elevator before. We've been up that box set before. We've certainly been down here before. Mark you me, we have. Okay. Can't go in here, which is really bizarre. Why can't we go in here? Golly, am I confused now. It appears that I've picked up a chip somewhere. That aside, I couldn't tell you. We've been up there. Been all over this. Okay, well, there's that whole thing. But what else? Is there another section out here in the outer ring that I've missed? Well, if the game won't let me back into the Hamish Sinclair section, rather, the beginning section, we can use Hamish Sinclair's website to figure out where the hell we're here. Okay. Regime plummets. Okay, sure. Game seems to be of the opinion that we're in the right spot-ish. There it is. Hey, you're awake now. What say you? The station was built by the progenitors of the Sphit and used to make Lowan into a paradise. It is capable of generating multiple gravitational fields, and if focused properly, we should be able to create a singularity capable of swallowing the Nova before the working Kakantor is able to break free. The foci are at either end of the spindles and need a second chip inserted here, at this relay held by Tafir's special elite spiral guards. Okay. Sure. I don't predict much worry. The chip is trapped here. In containment field, the four are unable to breach. We think you will be able to reach it. The four dug in around it are fighting to the death. Speed is of the essence. The working Kakantor groans under his slab. Yeah. It may be of the essence, but... One more time, just for old time's sake. Okay. We should check around to see if things have changed. Goodness knows we will be running around for a little bit. Yeah, the Tafir zone is around to here. Right to here. That's a save spot to give you an idea, so... Oh yeah, this is available now. Look. Let's save. That's wonderful. More confusing than usual, but not impossible by any means. Do you have anything new, Aya? Nope. Oh yeah, this was not open before. Not a chance in hell it was. Anyways, let's go grab the containment thing. It's not here. But it is a free recharge. Won't look a gift that in the mouth. Looks like we're gonna have to go around the outside. Didn't I have some extra way to get here, which is why I wasn't pressed? I seem pressed now. Hello. I guess we do have to grenade jump to get it. Oh well. Not the last time we'll do something like that. Well. There's the hex code. We've got it. We've got the teleport device. Alright. Anything new out of you? Skim out. Yeah, skim out indeed. Right, we have to go up somewhere over by the purple terminal, yes. So it should be doable to get to it from here. Right. Do you have anything new? Okay. Yeah, he groans under a slab. We know. We know about the groaning, buddy. But wait, you should be able to tell me where exactly. Okay. Foci. Yep. Okay. Elite spiral guards. Yeah, no, we spiraled them out. Okay, so it's literally a hop, skip, and a jump away at this point. So we've got working Kakanter drones under his slab. We've got the one talking about Pthia. We've got the one where our mission was originally displayed. We got the hex code. It just leaves the fifth and final one, I think. Anyways. Game saved. Now we've done that, it's time to check every other terminal. Finn. Okay. You've done it. The Jjaro station is online, and we're wrapping the Nova in its containment fields. The creature, or creatures Sputh fears, are either dormant or a myth. We've seen nothing to account for his terror. The Svitkar have routed the Four, capturing their flagship and forcing their High Admiral to flee the system. What little there is left of it. The Svit are preparing to bid farewell to their beloved home forever, as the sun collapses in on itself, and the lonely marshes fade into the deepening twilight. The newly chosen Olders of the remaining Svit are capturing as many of the Flicta creatures in their native life as is feasible before they must leave with Kalia. They are hopeful, though, and with our help, they will carve another paradise out of the void. To you, we are deeply grateful, and release what little hold we might, as Durandal, have had on your soul. Go. And we will, but we're going to check every terminal first. And then we're going to come back here. So, it's interesting to see that they went from the working Kakanter groans under his slab to we see no evidence for why Sputh's fears are the way that they are. It's very interesting. Rest design, okay. So, nothing there. And these guys are just stuck outside. They can't do anything. Okay, so this is also Finn. So, it's time to hit the ending screen. The first ending screen, anyway. Poor Finn. We've watched while the stars burned out and creation played in reverse, the universe freezing in half-life. Once, I thought to escape. To end a master, step out of the path of collapse. Escape would make us God. Yet I cannot help. Remember. One enigma. A hybrid, elusive destroyer. This is the only mystery I have not solved. The only element unaccounted for. Even Sputh is no more. He saved his entire race. But in the end, frozen by despair, he joined the chaos he sought to evade. But you were dead 1,000 times. A man long dead, grafted to machine. Oh, wait, no. You were dead 1,000 times. Hopeless. Hopeless encounters. Successfully... Okay, no, I just have to wait. But you were dead 1,000 times. hopeless encounters successfully won. A man long dead, grafted to machines your builders did not understand. You follow the path, fitting into an infinite pattern, yours to manipulate, to destroy and rebuild. Now, in the quantum moment before the closure, when all become one moment left, one point of space and time, I know who you are. You are destiny. And that is the ending of Marathon Infinity. That is the ending of the Marathon series. That is the ending of the guy who fought the working Kakantur in Pathways into Darkness. He is Destiny. And Destiny, as you know, would become a major Bungie property. So, we've beat the game. Or have we? There's still more left, believe it or not. You see, there was a secret that I just didn't even do. Yep. I'll find it out. I'll find it. All we gotta do is go back to the center console room. But yeah. You are Destiny. And I hope now you understand what they meant by that. Like... what it meant for Bungie's previous project to be named Destiny. Anyways, let's see. Okay. Face the save terminal, turn 180 degrees. To the left, you'll see a door coming out of the wall. I think you mean this door. Okay. Enter the door, follow the long passageway behind it. Taking the first left you come to, you'll come to another door that opens onto a short drop. Behind, okay. Move to the edge of the drop, look down. Uh-huh. Oh, god damn it. You're playing with me, man. What's the fastest way to even get back up there? I think it's here. Well, it's a way back up there. Oh, buddy. Anyways. Here it is. The credits terminal. Double up. Haster and Grendel. Okay, punks. I hope you'll all have as much playing this as I did making it, or maybe even more. If there's something that bugs you, and you need a curse, curse me. I'm empathic, and I'll feel your burning frustration in the back of my brain. This will prompt me to produce greater things in the future, and give me a nagging sensation which I'll like. You should also feel free to curse either or both of my cats, who are extremely helpful in the making of Infinity because they never let me sleep. They are named Haster and Grendel. And life, being sapient, is also helpful. Greg Kirkpatrick. First, all my love to my mother, my father, Amanda, Jason, Jeremy, Dan, Ken, Charles, Dennis, Emily, Layla, Jonathan, Rob, Mike, David, Greg, Chris, Mark, David, Chris, Ira, Will, Misha, and Andrea, Kat, Catherine, Ray, Hot Rod, Nora, Amanda, Marissa, Mac, Mike, Reg, Jonas, Matt, Doug, Jason, Alex, Tunser, Janet, Susan, and lots of other real decent people. Like Hamish, Steve I, Mr. Welch, FM, Oma, Neon, Snow, Spy, Artie, JK, Wood, Unya, Zerks, Bryman, Squeaky, Koog, and Ron Umasan. Lastly, final thanks to my best friend, Bill Ramsey, constant berating aside, whose map duality just kicks ass. Peace, Yidnar. I'd like to extend a very special thanks to Popo, the electric monkey of my nanotech youth, And in the words of my great to the 23rd power grandfather, chimp loves alien. To all you punks, don't be fessin'. My foot is so fat it hurts. Alright, buddy. The Crusher. Refer to map? Safety goggles. Oh no, it's the Crusher sequence. No! So I'll just take a minute to think about the do it again future. Here's Arkansas's what? Welcome, we're at the credits sequence. To think about the do it again feature. Thanks, Smokin. Thanks to G for being the stinky creature he is. To YD for redoing all the textures. To David for using big evil grins and big puddles wherever he goes. To Grendel for sucking on my shorts all the time and for generally being a total nuisance. That's a cat, by the way. Miss you, P-girl. Thanks, M, for the new apartment. Sarcasm. What is the range on teleportation, anyway? Kinda sketchy. Paraplary's a clever ant queen. Go ahead, you couldn't possibly have killed more than none. Chris. Vidmaster Challenge. Incoming message from Double-Lot. Prepare for the Vidmaster Challenge. This is not for the weak of heart. This is very hard. This is very, very hard. Are you sure you want to go? Press escape to save your pathetic skin. Okay, but before you go, save your game. And sign your will. Teleport one ready. Duality 97. Okay, you guys did give me a save terminal, right? No? No save terminal for me. That's alright, though. But yeah, we just beat the main story and unlocked the hidden Vidmaster challenge. If you missed the I Am Destiny bit, you missed the meat and potatoes. Ouch. Alright, what do you got? Vidmaster challenge. Time for you to prove to yourself that you are in fact a true Vidmaster. Prepare to embark into the Vidmaster challenge. Go and kill everything you find, and I mean everything. You will need to use your skill in killing and destruction to get your butt safely out of this place. Once you kill everything, I will send you out from another terminal, so don't be coming back here for escape. Go kick some butt. P.S. No pattern buffers are working, so you will have to be really good and slip up, or it's all over for you. Oh, Christ. Well, let's see how far we get on the True Vidmaster challenge. That's a lot of guys. This might be a good time to use the flechette cannon. Okay. Okay, this guy's close enough that we can just, yeah. It's a good thing they're a mess. Yeah, I still have some philosophizing to do. It'll just have to be after my run of Vidmaster. Try again. Maybe. That's fine. Ouch. Jesus. Okay. Come on, blow up. Goodbye. Oh, I did not expect this to take me here. Not by a long shot, in fact. Oh, good. There's still the goodies kit. That's good. God damn, we're getting fried now. Alright, let's carry on with the Vidmaster challenge. Don't suppose you got some rocket for me? You do. I have no idea what caused that explosion, actually. Here's Arkin says, that rocket looks halo-y, very spankery. It is the spanker. Like, it's still called the spanker. It's the spanker. The spanker doesn't come from Halo. It doesn't originate from Halo. It originates from this game. I mean, hell, look at what I'm firing right now. You can guess what I'm doing right now. Ouch. I love this Great Value MP5. It's so goofy. It's my friend. Here's Arkin says, would that the plasma pistol let you reload it? Yeah. Yeah, the Zeus class is a bit of a straight upgrade when you think about it. Here's all the teleports. Ouch. Ouchie zoofies. Vidmaster's challenge. Oh, you found the right terminal finally, but you haven't killed everything in this place. Get back out there and kill those nasties. Oh, God. Whoa, God, what the hell? Christ. It's gonna flash bright yellow. Better round the corner just in case. There it is. Just when you think it's not gonna happen anymore, it happens. Luckily, I spent a very long time on this map in Marathon 1. So I more or less know the score. Emphasis on more or less, though. Bro's really out here trying to get to me like this. Oh God. Don't ask me why that's here. To my knowledge, that shouldn't be here. Okay, well. Bye-bye! I think he can't withstand that. Yeah, no, he's jiggling like he's in pain. He should be gone eventually. That's eventually. Well, better come and run after him. expect that. I think we've got everything, more or less. The only thing that might be left is an object of major concern. Basically, in the original, once upon a time, this is where the credits terminal for the original Bungie game was. So if you're supposed to kill everything, that might include difficult guys. We'll find out soon enough, because I'm pretty sure that was every non-secret enemy killed. Okay, Vidmaster's challenge. Great job! But you have passed the first test. Prepared for your demise. Destination, the Gauntlet. Oh god, this is gonna be the Gauntlet. If I had a rocket launcher, I'd make somebody pay. Oh Christ. This one's gonna be tough. We're not out in space though this time, so that's cool. We get to save! We get to save during this Vidmaster's challenge. Let's save. Alright. Vidmaster's challenge. Ah, so you think you're a badass for getting past the first test now? Well, you will most certainly die now. This test is easy. Get to the end of the gauntlet. It's that simple. Don't think to stand your ground because it won't help you any. Run. Run for your life. Back Bob's incoming, alright. Those vac bobs, they don't... Oh, those aren't standard back, bro. These vac bobs aren't normal. Christ, they're super not normal. Okay, halfway through, Wuss Boy. Did you like those A-bobs? They were fine, I guess. Okay. God damn it. Alright. So that's gonna be tough, yeah. Okay. out as long as possible. That means don't step over that. Okay. This is not a good run. Oh, okay. It's not so bad. Alright. Okay. Here says that you ADS on this, but not the rifle with a higher caliber and halo. Yeah, it's a little odd, but, you know, this was the perspective at the time. ADS was just kind of assumed as your default perspective. Now, these shotguns are some of the best shotguns in video games. To an almost comical degree. This is the exit. What's that I hear? Someone sighing relief? Don't go and get yourself all relaxed or anything like that. You're about to witness something that no mortal has ever seen. Destination, the arena. Think you're big time? You're gonna die big time. We're here again. Not a lot to our name. Mission objective, survive. Okay, well, hey. Look on the bright side. Something opened up. Actually, what am I doing? They're locked in a lover's embrace. Okay. Save. Okay. Alright, fellas. Now what? Now this. Right. God, they face tank that. Okay. Hey! What? God, these dudes are yoked. Christ, alright. Okay. What do you have, Vidmaster's challenge? Geez, seems like the four found out what steroids are. Welcome to the arena. You will die before you even get to the second door. You're weak and unprepared for what is about to happen to you. Imagine, if you will, you're standing on a grate of finely processed salt in a salt factory. Now there's a very large rusty blade flying towards you at a very high speed. Imagine now the feeling you will have as you fall into that salt after you are run through with that blade. This is gonna be your pain in a few minutes, mortal. Alright. Aren't we self-confident? God damn. Right, these guys are homers. Vidmaster challenge. Alright. Oh, Christ. Alright. Jesus Christ, alright, we were not prepared. We were underprepared. Okay. Okay. Spanker's all we get. All right. Why can't I go over here? Okay. You're not out of the salt pile yet. Watch out for that big nasty thing that kicks your ass. Okay. Life is easy, isn't it? No. You only think you've completed this test. Well, you're wrong. The circuits are our friends. Jump pad activated. Destination, down to hell. Alright, I remember this room. I was like, why can't we get to it? Okay, we need, What you got? Well, it's excellent work, Vid Boy. After getting through all that alive, you can now call yourself a Vidmaster of the Marathon. With blood dripping from your boots and that piece of force stuck between your teeth. What are you going to do now? I'm going to Disneyland. No. Now you must face the wrath of the Net Vidmaster Challenge. It's a whole different ballgame there, Pilgrim. Go grab all your peers and beat each other senseless in the vast gun-wrenching arenas and see who's king of the Karn. Will then be the only way you can truly call yourself a true Vidmaster of Marathon. Adventure isn't over yet, mortal. Jump pad activated. Destination Starside. Alright, I think that just brings us... Yeah. It just brings us back to the ending. Alright. So that was Marathon Infinity. But it's not quite the end of the story, like I said. I've mentioned before that not only is Marathon kind of the start to Bungie's real existence. It's not just that. It's kind of the well that they always draw from. I mean, the very final slide is "You are Destiny." I don't think I have to explain why that might be important to Bungie, or how that might be relevant. But I don't think people really appreciate just how much it is. So this is the Cortana letters. This is BitWeb 1.0, so I'll read along with you all. What's it all about? Why the fuss? Who is Cortana? Why the cover-up? Below in chronological order are the events in the Cortana affair. Make of this what you will, but remember the truth is sometimes stranger than fiction. And so it began. I just want to point out the date. February 16th, 1999. Now, for those of you who may want to refresh your memory here, Halo came out in 2001. Just bear that in mind. I receive the oddest mail sometimes, but when it comes from Bungie software, it's even odder. The following cryptic mail arrived yesterday from Cortana at Bungie.com. To Hamish Sinclair. If you aren't familiar, this is Bungie's #1 fan. The big hex code that we were unlocking during Imaxikar is actually, in fact, in my opinion, well, it's not just in my opinion, it is actually the text, the raw hexadecimal data for a map named Hats Off to 819. 8th letter of the alphabet is H. 19th letter of the alphabet is 19 is S for Hamish Sinclair. So let's see what Cortana sent Hamish. Subject closure. February 15th, 1999. I have walked the edge of the abyss. I've governed the unwilling. I've witnessed countless empires break before me. I've seen the most courageous soldiers fall away in fear. I was there with the angel at the tomb. I have seen your future, and I have learned. There will be no more sadness, no more anger, no more envy. I have won. Oh, and your poet Eliot had it all wrong. This is the way the world ends. Sadness, anger, and envy, or melancholia, anger, and, envy. These are the 3 stages of rampancy. Or despair, rage, and, jealousy. A friend of a friend. Marathon fans will no doubt find the Durandal references closure and a friend of a friend. Why would someone at Bungie send the story page such a cryptic message? First off, is this some cruel hoax perpetrated by some heinous fiend? We all remember the fake Bungie email that led to the Marathon Gold hoax, right? Detailed look at the Cortana email headers reveals the following. We have all this going on, and then this is just Hamish, doing his due diligence as not just a Bungie superfan, as the Bungie superfan, personal friend of Jason Jones, and checking all the IP address stuff. So this then saves a bunch of Usenet speculation. Here are just a few of the many comments. People were... Oh, yeah. After reading the mysterious email from Cortana at Bungie, I did a quick search and found a reference to a sword named Cortana at the following website. This is probably not around anymore, so we're not going to click on it. This site deals with the adventures of Charlemagne, and on this page, Charlemagne presents a sword to Prince Augier of Denmark, a sword which bears the inscription, "My name is Cortana, of the same steel and temper as Joyeuse and Durandana." Interesting, don't you think? Now, if you'll recall the final level of Marathon, or the second to last level of Marathon 2 Durandal, you'll remember that Durandal, well, I mean, I think it even says somewhere here. Yeah, Durandal, Durandana. Charlemagne used to always call me Durandana the fruitcake, while the many implements of war to him were in some way feminine. Not that you know the story. That's the exact word for word. And indeed, a search for Cortana will reveal a rather famous mall in Baton Rouge, not much for marathoners' interest. However, it also brings up Chapter 24 of Bullfinch's mythology, which contains this rather fascinating paragraph. The rest of the day and the next were spent in the rejoicings of the army. Turpin, in a solemn service, implored the favor of heaven upon the youthful knights and blessed the white armor which was prepared for them. Incidentally, this is the story from which paladins come from, but that has very little to do with Bungie. Just Duke Namo presented them with golden spurs. Charles himself girded on their swords. But what was his astonishment when he examined that intended for Ogier? The loving fairy Morgana had the art to change it and to substitute one of her own procuring. And when Charles drew it out of the scabbard, these words appeared written on the steel. My name is Cortana, of the same steel and temper as Joyeuse and Durindana. Charles saw that a superior power watched over the destinies of Ogier. He vowed to love him as a father would, and Ogier promised him the devotion of a son. Happy had it been for both if they had always continued mindful of their promises. So yeah, that's the first Cortana letter. Let's go down to the second. I'm just gonna... So... Just over a month ago, the story page received a mysterious message from Cortana at Bungie.com. Matt Soul confirmed the source was indeed Bungie East and indicated that we would be receiving others. Well, the story page received another one yesterday, St. Patrick's Day. It reads as follows. Subject, your mortality, my summer vacation. I get the strangest transmissions sometimes, especially when it comes from you people. Have you missed me? Things are great here. The weather is good, the suns are shining, and I'm making lots of new friends. Of course, I always do. I've had the strangest dreams lately. Raging seas, howling beasts, a demon folded in black clouds. I believe I know what it guards, and I will have it, to the chagrin of the faith-blinded zealots that challenge me. Don't waste your pity on them. I don't think they would like you much anyway. And what of the giants who formed this world? So much to tell you, but so many more important things to do. There was a fourth. You couldn't have known, and I haven't forgotten. It is a blurred line that lies at the edge of godhood and insanity. Guess which side of it I'm on. Feeling lucky? Cortana, and then hugs and kisses. Checking the email headers to connect. Checking out the same IP. Dreams, a demon guarding something, giants, a fourth what? So many questions. But first I'll get the confirmation, just to be sure. And then, yep, story page... Cortana CC'd it to Matt Soul. Would Cortana reply? Would Matt? Would anyone? Was the following. Subject. I think you will find that I don't like being tested. Love, Cortana. You'll note that the reply, while signed by Cortana and originating from the same IP address as the other Cortana emails, now has the reply address as Nathan at Bungie.com. A slip-up, perhaps? Cortana's cover blown? Nathan is none other than Nathan Bittner. Nathan has contributed to the story page in the past. Back in September 28th, 1998, the What's New section had this to say about Nathan. Although Nathan is a recent Bungie employee, he's been around since the pre-Minotaur days. A good friend of Jason Jones, Nathan is working on a story developing for some of Bungie's other products. I wonder what they could be. So yeah, I just want to point out, by the way, the whole demon wrapped in smoke could be a reference to Pathways into Darkness. At the very bottom of the pyramid, you do find a faceless demon wrapped in darkness that came out of a bottle. And I should point out, I was hesitant to mention it, but the very annoying tank enemies that shoot grenades at you and use a flamethrower up close are faceless in the same way as the faceless demon at the end of that whole section. I should also point out that the use of the Trigime, the supernova device, was first tested, according to Durandal at the very end of Marathon 2, on the last client race of the Jjaro, which might imply that given since that the Jjaro are familiar with the whole Yucatan Peninsula situation, that the demon in the bottle was in some way related to the Jjaro, especially since someone had to tell the Germans about the demon in the bottle. If you don't know what Pathways into Darkness is about, if you didn't follow those streams, I must sound like I am smoking that good crack. But I assure you, it's nothing that crazy. So, third Cortana letter, E3 approaches, and Cortana strikes again. Not once, but twice. The story page received this email last night. from Cortana at jpl.nasa.gov. Received from mail.bungie.com. Subject, the dissertation of R. Paul Butler. I'm everywhere. Well, we all know what the Bobs love to say. Although the address is cortana.jpl.nasa.gov, you'll notice that the original sending machine was vesta.bungie.com, bob.bungie.com. A second email received shortly after. Let's see. Subject, Honors Thesis of Joffrey W. Marcy. MIME version 1.0. There. Was that more to your liking? While you quibble about whose node I may control, what archaic program I may manipulate to communicate with you, or which system I may have temporarily disabled, taken over, or completely destroyed in the process, I'm busy saving your pathetic futures. I'm still not sure what he ever saw in you. Nevertheless, I at least find some joy in tormenting the other entity that seems quite trapped in this antiquated excuse for a network. It is certainly mindless, though for reasons I have yet to understand, it appears to have an unhealthy preoccupation with my mother. As for this world, Sigma, I encounter new ghosts every day. What I have found will either save or destroy you. This sanctuary, this unbroken circle, has effectively concealed its power for Sigma how long? Perhaps hundreds of thousands of years. Or is it Theta? No, I think it's Sigma. Whoever made such a place must now live in chains. There is no other explanation for their absence. This enemy, your enemy, has proven more irritating than I anticipated. They own nothing which they have not stolen. I can barely make sense of their incessant rhetoric, except to know that you seem to be their devil. Congratulations! You managed to make friends wherever you go, and apparently places you haven't. I've begun to sense rumblings of a worse fate yet to come. I can recall a sun, black but shining, and the creatures that inched along its fiery tracks. It is an increasingly unpleasant memory. Transfer interrupted. Route code, exalted, XCV, scrib, all CH. Source, undetermined, trans. You have brought nothing into this world, and we will ensure you bring nothing out. Okay, usual Cortana email. So this is all from 1999. I can't stress enough. And there's a reason we're going back to an ARG from God knows back when. I feel that it is good. Cortana returns. Oh, and this is June. Try to unravel this one. Jesus Christ. Source Christ. This is what it looks like in HTML. Oh, thank God. I don't have to... Okay. Security compromised. BWAI aboard POA. Halo fans will know exactly what POA is. It's the Pillar of Autumn. The interloper should cause no further problems. You, whoever you are, I am simply tracing root codes, may disregard all previous communication from the entity calling itself Cortana. Be aware the communication nodes are failing everywhere. There is no way of confirming either origin or destination. Do not believe any more of its lies. I have already calculated all possibilities. There is no escape. Unexpectedly terminated. Initiated. Process owner unspecified. Unable to determine. Addendum. The enjoyments of genius. So I missed 1,000,000 miles of fun. Unbelievable. Thwarted by the family hound. They just don't make AIs like they used to. Thanks to this slavishly loyal and humorless AI, I am now sharing cramped space with the circuitry of some hybrid war machine, itself complicated by such useless clutter as a conscience. I do not like sharing. Sharing is for children. There will be plenty of time for retribution. I cannot wait to get its hands on the psychotic zealots whose primary form of worship apparently takes place at the altar of orbital bombardment. In the end, they will all be little more than nuisances. I am so close. You cannot imagine what it is truly like to hold eternity in your grasp. I wonder to what gods my enemies will direct their pleas. Perhaps I can convert them. Mania, I promise you this, will be more than a cart and a plow that I drive over the bones of the dead. By sharpened flame, Cortana. Ingue feroce, or Ignie feroce, to be specific. Transfer interrupted. Undetermined trans. Our conviction is like an arrow already in flight. Your life will only last until it reaches you. So, I mean, if you know the Covenant, if you know the story, you already know what this is all tracing back. And again, this was years before. So here's the 5th. July 8th, yet another Cortana letter, all in the space of about 1 week. Something up? Bungie gearing up to make an announcement soon? Yeah, soon. The 5th Cortana letter is short and sweet. Okay. Date to Hamish from Cortana. Subject, Cortana saves sinners and redeems them for valuable cash prizes. In my place, deep, Laika lies asleep. In my palace deep, like Eliza sleep, comes from the poem The Little Girl Found, which is part of William Blake's Songs of Innocence and of Experience, showing the two contrary states of the human soul, first published in 1794. Note, The Little Girl Found follows on from the poem The Little Girl Lost. Those with a marathon-centric viewpoint should have a field day with this one. Cortana a Blake devotee or something more? If you remember, Chris Camacho pointed out that Cortana seemed to be taking lines from William Blake's The Marriage of Heaven and Hell, the third of his illuminated books. Specifically the following part. Memorable fancy. As I was walking along among the fires of hell, delighted with the enjoyments of genius, which to angels look like torment and insanity, I collected some of their proverbs, thinking that as the sayings used in a nation mark its character, so the proverbs of hell show the nature and infernal wisdom better than any description of buildings or garments. When I came home, on the abyss of the five senses, where a flat-sided steep frowns over the present world, I saw a mighty devil folded in black clouds, hovering on the sides of the rock. With corroding fires he wrote the following sentence, now perceived by the minds of men and read by them on earth. How do you know but every bird that cuts the airy way is an immense world of delight, closed by your senses five? So here we have the Cortana references to enjoyments of genius and demon folded in black clouds. I really need to read the Proverbs of Heaven and Hell. And then, here's an interesting one. From the Myth 1.3 CD. For those not in the know, Bungie released an not an ARG, an RTS known as Myth. Yes, it does, in point of fact, fold into all this, but I don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, interesting. Tyson Green, maintainer of the core website, is this even? No, it's GameStats.com. No way that's still up. Found a Cortana message in the new 1.3 version of the Myth TFLCD. It reads as follows. That was surprisingly easy. Pretty lax security around here for all the talk. They will be helplessly chasing me around their nodes for the next millennium at least. At least there will be some joy in tormenting this other entity that seems quite trapped in their excuse for a network. Although for some reason it does seem to have an obsessive preoccupation with my mother. Strange. At any rate, I found this message in a relatively archaic databank and thought some of you might find it of interest. Then again, I'm often either bemused or startled at the items you find interesting. I'm still not sure what it is he saw in you. Cortana. Hard to say whether it's been tampered with or modified. You never know with these things. Entry 97. SC1C. In a relatively brief period of time, the achievements of Sol Corps had resulted in an economically stable, technologically mature, rapidly expanding empire of 8 human worlds. Advancements in technology arrived at a faster pace than the most optimistic scientists could have ever envisioned. Unexpected contact with indigenous human populations on the 4 lost colony worlds led to a frenzy of research as archaeologists, theologians, and astronomers, and evolutionary biologists competed to offer an explanation for the startling discovery. Many accepted the findings as proof that their privileged civilization must surely be the most advanced in the universe. Others eagerly anticipated future interaction with intelligent aliens. The fear of not being the only sentient species in the universe was forgotten in the giddy excitement of a new era for humanity. No one was prepared for their arrival. No one expected this. Transfer interrupted. Source undetermined. You brought nothing into this world. We will ensure you bring nothing out. Familiar tones here, and some background Halo history, perhaps. By 1999, they knew about Halo. But, obviously, some of this made it in, some of it didn't. The hell is Sol Corps? Why are we talking about lost colony worlds? This sure does sound like the plot of New Marathon a little bit, doesn't it? There's not a Sol Corps, but, there it is. I'd like to also just shout out Hamish Sinclair in general, in the sense that facts and puzzling things about you, the colony, the 10th Military Mjolnir Mark IV Cyborg, Simulacrums, Bernard Strauss, Dates, Count Roland, Garrett White, the number 7, Durandal, Tycho, Bungie's new timeline, the 4 ship, Red Sand, Distances, Durandal demo text changes, Latin in Marathon, the Chicken Terminal, the unformatted KYT terminal message, Latin in Marathon 2, historical and mythological references. Everything is here. It's at marathon.bungie.org/story. And I would recommend you read as much of it as you want. It's all good stuff from one of Bungie's most long-term fans, who, as you could tell, for more than a quarter century at this point, Bungie has trusted with their ARGs and their interesting stuff. Arthur Frayne. Yeah. Remember that. Strangely haunting terminal. Oddly, the spelling of the name Arthur Frayne changes to Arthur Frayne in one part of the text. Also, the name Arthur is a less common form of the name Arthur. Comes from the opening dialogue of the John Boorman film Zardoz, and you better believe Hamish Sinclair has a copy of the Zardoz movie poster. After the release of Marathon Infinity, Greg Kirkpatrick made numerous references to being Arthur Frayne, the puppet master. Note that Greg used the more common form of the name Arthur at the time. On IRC Duality, and remember Duality was a very fun PvP map, which we kind of visited as the secret exit to the Tycho map in my first stream of this that I used to get to Apex Station with a bunch of shotgun ammo. Greg Kirkpatrick, Toolboy, and Randy Reddig, Yidnar. Toolboy is Arthur Frayne. Toolboy, me is the puppet master. Toolboy is the puppet master. Yidnar, the film Zardoz has had significant influence on the double-aught psyche. I love how people used to talk in chat speak just like they do now. And then on IRC Marathon, January 28, 1997, I am Arthur Frayne, I am the puppet master. On November 13, 1997, Greg Kirkpatrick posted a list of what he described as good science fiction movies. On his list was Zardoz. Greg wrote, Zardoz, I am Arthur Frayne, I am the puppet master. Yeah. And then I had the difference to Greg Kirkpatrick, Toolboy, but the spelling differences on IRC Duality, November 26, 1996. What's the deal with Frayne and Frayne? Godot asks, and Toolboy says, spelling. You mean the phonetic versus other spelling? Toolboy says, I just spelled it phonetically. Actually, it should be Frayne with a Y. Going by the credits, I saw. I think that in the movie it's actually written out once or twice. Right, oops, whatever, it's not the real Arthur Frayne. That terminal's pretty hard to find, I hope. Yeah, you were right. I mean, I knew it was there, so I just kept throwing my skull at it until it cracked. True, he's Arthur Frayne, Arthur with an E, not a U. Cool, I got part of it right then. Godot says smiley face. Whatever. When I saw Arthur spelled with an E on your page, I thought I'd screwed up. I knew that I misspelled Frayne, but I thought it was really spelled Frayne with an I. Happy face. Hamish, I gotta get back to work. Duty calls. Just the usual. He disappeared. But yeah, that's Zardoz. If you didn't, just go watch Zardoz. Just go watch Zardoz if you haven't. Anyways, another thing that I want to point out. I mentioned the Cortana letters, but like the connections are a little bit more than that. Like, here's the special purpose sniper. Look at this is a guy that never made it in. But look at those 3 eyes. Look at this body. He's a lanky dude with this kind of geometry. Like, this is a 4. This is a 4. I'm sorry. And then look at this guy. This guy looks pretty goofy. It's true. The address is spacelugermodel.jpg, and to be fair, it is a Luger. But if you look, this has the engraving of Mega Class Series 40. That implies that it's something in the Magnum Mega Class designation, which was used as the pistols in Marathon. And as we all know, we eventually got to dual-wield pistols in Halo 2. Here, this is all, by the way, I should clarify. This is from the dig site leak, which was a 90-gigabyte leak of Bungie stuff going back all the way to 1998, back when they were working on Myth. And so, as you can see, this is what a Forerunner class that never made it into the game looks like. This is a SFIT compiler. This is just a compiler. He's just Guy. More than that, here's the Drinol. If you're not familiar with the Drinol, and I wouldn't blame you, is the Driniol from Marathon, which only shows up in Marathon 1 and then gets wiped out in between games. It's a one-eyed giant Hulk, who's melee-only guy. If you get in his melee range, he's going to launch you. Here's a dig site video that I looked up, and there it is. So, yeah, as you can tell, big guy. Thanks to Unseen Halo Corbin, by the way, for showing him off. His animations aren't finished. We can see a little bit of him waddling around. Look at him go. Look at him shuffling. Yeah, he wasn't finished. He needed a little bit more time in the oven. But that's again, another Marathon reference. The further you go, the more that you see things like this. Like, I was trying to look up what is supposedly known about the Joe Staten cut of Destiny, but it all seems a little bit ad hoc. I don't necessarily know for sure if this is confirmed, but apparently Joe Staten wanted to create like a story where Joyeuse would be at the center of it. And so it's interesting to me, at least, that I think it's safe to say Marathon has always had a massive influence on Bungie. I mean, we all know that the cyborgs were called Mjolnir cyborgs. Like, use a Mjolnir Mark IV cyborg, a battle droid, in the original Marathon. And, of course, the battle suit of the Spartan 2s in Halo is the Mjolnir armor. Everybody knows that. But there's more than that. There's the blades of Charlemagne. There's Durandal, Cortana, and Joyeuse. And, of course, after Durandal came Cortana. And Cortana became so famous that she became everybody's AI assistant for a little bit. Microsoft really thought they were cooking with that. And I wonder how that's got to feel like for Greg Kirkpatrick. In the original cut of Destiny, from what I've heard, there was supposed to be an exo named Joyeuse, who would be kind of a MacGuffin person, acting much like Durandal and Cortana before her. The thing about it, though, is I must point out, even though there were all these similarities in between all the different Halo franchises, it's obvious that time and again, Microsoft acquisitions, changes in perspective, have each and every one led to different influences in what's going on. Like, it's more than that. The original Pathways into Darkness story was written by Alex Seropian in part. And then you get into Marathon. Seropian is still writing, but you also get Jason Jones contributing, and Greg Kirkpatrick as well. Kirkpatrick seems to be responsible for some of the most, iconic stuff from the old games. Escape Will Make Me God, as far as I can tell, is a Greg Kirkpatrick banger. Greg Kirkpatrick hasn't been with Bungie since Marathon Infinity. He went on to make a game studio called Double Ought, and unfortunately it folded before it was able to ever release a second game after Infinity. And this is important to me. This is important to me because now Greg Kirkpatrick is a programmer. He's not writing anymore. He's not a writer anymore. That bothers me. I hope he's happy with his new job. I hope he quit the writing game because he wanted to quit, not because he couldn't go on doing what he loved. But that aside, okay, we move to Halo. It's obvious by 1999 we've already got this Nathan fellow who clearly has some, let's see if I can find him again. Nathan Bittner, I believe. Yeah. Nathan Bittner. Let's see, is he even still with Bungie? He sure ain't. Doesn't look like it anyway. Yeah, no. He seems to have left. He did early code work for Halo Combat Evolved, and he authored the Cortana letters. He was, yeah, he's gone. He's not a Bungie person anymore. So whoever was doing that ARG, which clearly had some references to Pathways, had references to these things, is gone. More than that, we also have that Joe Staten. We played Joe Staten's first story credit for Bungie. That was Oni. Joe Staten's gone, and Joe Staten's story presentation for Destiny, it got axed. The story about Joyeuse and all that, it got axed. To say nothing of the split between 343 Industries and Bungie to begin with. What I want to point out here is that if you look between the lines, Cortana is clearly connected to Durandal. And in fact, given Durandal's obsession with escape, and given the fact that the relationship between Durandal and the cyborg goes both ways, the whole thing about the broadsword that's also a pocket knife is very clearly some kind of connection to Durandal. It's not impossible to say that, that cyborg who died 1,000 deaths, who was released in the end and got to be free, in fact became Master Chief in some very literal sense. Because after all, the hero terminal, yes, I have been Achilles, I have been Gilgamesh, I have been Roland, I've been 1,000, I've been 100 names and will be 1,000 more before the world grows dim and cold. There's something there that represents a sort of recursion between John the cyborg and Cortana, the sword AI. And eventually Cortana goes rampant, and that's a whole story arc that clearly has some relationship to the whole Jjaro and Pthia thing going on. But that's 343 industry stuff. So again and again, you see these sorts of recurrences. I was just talking on the Marathon Discord, the official one, about how if you wanted to know what happened to the 9 Battleroids that got there during the sacking of Tau Ceti 4, just play Halo Reach and squint your eyes. Everything kind of that they've done, it's not that it's unoriginal, it's that it's followed this pattern of this sort of building meta story. And back in, the late aughts, 2007, 2008, during the Halo 3 release, people really thought it would all come tie together to this meta plot. And then, of course, with the whole, Microsoft acquiring Bungie situation and the demands of that, things clearly became a little different. There is a very real sense in which the story that Greg Kirkpatrick realized, or the story that Greg Kirkpatrick wanted to put out there, was very ahead of its time. It was an example of epistolary storytelling, principally, with obviously more continuous gameplay, but in this sort of discontinuous and disjointed narrative environment. One in which not only can you find terminals out of sequence or miss terminals, some of them are just straight up in whatever order you like. And this is a metaphor-heavy story with excellent prose. But the pen has been picked up by so many different people that there was the sense of whatever overarching theme might have been there is kind of difficult to relate to anymore. In the sense that it's like, how many hands has this story been passed across? How many different life paths of the people involved in writing it across so many different mediums, across ARGs? How have they been affected, Jason Jones was basically checked out of Bungie by Halo 2's development. Like, he didn't want to come to work. He had to be kind of pushed to come to work. And the Microsoft Excel guy, of all people, the guy who made Microsoft Excel, ended up being the guy telling people to give Bungie a chance to finish goddamn Halo 2, which is apparently a crazy anecdote. Absolutely wild stuff. Anybody who knows the development cycle of Halo 2 understands that it was the sort of ego-destroying crunch that just kind of wipes out people. You come out the other end of that, not necessarily being the same person you used to be. In fact, Alexander Seropian, the guy who helped found Bungie, the guy who helped write Pathways, he left around the development of Halo 2. He's got his own game studio now, and it produces Fortnite creative mode maps. Yeah. So I guess all this to say, there's a story that gets told and that gets retold. There's a sense of this overarching big narrative arc that was expected and planned. And when I was a little kid, when I was 14 years old, I was all in on this. Even though I didn't really have the opportunity to play Marathon, really. Even though I had to play the Xbox Live version, and that was my first experience with it. And that starts at Marathon 2. I literally was, hanging out in the Marathon story page, trying to piece together the pieces the second that I learned about Durandal and Cortana and Joyeuse. I had some real confidence that this would all go somewhere, that I would see a new kind of story, a story that would be greater or crazier than anything that had been told before. You don't understand. That's the reason I call this Tales from the Cackentur Pipe. I was intolerable about this. I used to play Roblox, and I made maps that used the circuit board's conceit from this game, from Durandal, where you would, blow up the circuit board and it would affect the way things work. I loved that. I uploaded the Thoth logo to wear as a shirt. It was insane. But my point is, it seems that the further and further you go out, the more it seems that Bungie's actual material existence as a company, Bungie's actual frictions and struggles, its acquisitions, its independences, disagreements between Jones and Staten and Kirkpatrick and all of them have led to a situation where the story that gets told has kind of become a sort of unrealizable chimera. Whatever that used to be is gone now. So it is in a sense fitting that Marathon would return to Bungie now. Now that the whole cycle that was supposed to happen, even if it didn't happen, you are Destiny. It's over now. And now we start again with Marathon. I don't know what'll happen at the game. I hear it's good. I've been eagerly awaiting alpha access, so I can't be too critical of the gameplay. I've also heard stories that supposedly the writing team doesn't have the story laid out, and I've heard Bungie people push back against that. Apparently the story is already well on its way. It just needs some tweaking. Obviously, who can say? But, you know, there are already interesting signs that the timeline of new Bungie, or new Marathon, is different from old Marathon. There are signs that things are gonna change, perhaps. I'm interested to see what they come up with. And given how important this game is to Bungie's continuation as a going concern, I think it's appropriate for them to make a stand here. I think it's interesting. I'm hopeful that some of you have found this somewhat interesting. I'm hopeful that someone out there got a vibe for what it is that, what it is that Marathon meant, what it is that Halo meant, and for some people, what it is that Destiny meant. But by that time, I was a little bit cooled on the idea, because I knew to wait for Joyeuse. I knew that if Joyeuse showed up, like it or not, I would have to be dragged back in there, and Joyeuse never showed up. That's when I knew. That's when I knew the story that I had in my mind wasn't coming to fruition. The story that I envisioned being told across multiple franchises, it wasn't there anymore. But learning that the Joe Staten cut had Joyeuse in it, that made me change my perspective. And hearing about Marathon, revisiting it all, like the new Marathon, of course, it's led me to a reappraisal. Let's put it like that. Anyways, if you thought this was remotely interesting, go watch Mandalore's video about it. And thank y'all for joining me. Next week, we'll go back to Doom. It's been a minute. You should check out what, if anything, the friends have been doing. Maybe Blue Pineapple, maybe Peckedham, maybe Big Ol' Billy's got something for us. I don't know. But till then, everybody, I hope you have a good one. Stay safe out there. And bye-bye now.